Aryana, can you just take us through what you went through? Give us an account of the ordeal.
Well, I was in Afghanistan for the past 8 months, and then all of a sudden, when things changed and the Taliban came to Kabul and they took over, I was left with no choice but to leave Afghanistan, and we left in a very very uh, you know difficult manner. It was a very challenging for me and for my fiance, because I have been besides the fact that I'm a singer, I've also been a very outspoken women's rights activist in Afghanistan. And especially for me, it was difficult because by the time we wanted to leave, there was like Taliban checkpoints all over the place. And, we were very scared to be caught alive. And the major challenge was, the journey from home to the airport. That's where the problem was. And then, but fortunately, we made it to the airport and we were evacuated by the American Army airplane, a C-17. There was my fiance and I with a few other 100 people who were all like American passport holders, and we were, I guess, the lucky ones.
What did you see around you when you reached airport? We saw some terrible scenes. A lot of Afghan children, old people were all there. Can you give us a blow-by-blow account? And can you just tell us, did you face any Taliban during the checkpoints?
It was absolute chaos, just as you see the videos. That's what I actually experienced physically when I was there. So basically, my flight was on the 15th of August. Actually, I was booked on a commercial flight, but unfortunately, that's the day when Taliban took over Kabul. So my flight was like at 8 p.m. and then we made our way to the airport, and Taliban were not there until then. So we get to the airport and the airport's like filled up with like thousands and thousands of people. Everybody's trying to get out. As you said, small children, like they're piled on top of each other and everything. But still, there was no Taliban, and we were hoping that we will be checked in and we will leave by 8 o'clock. Unfortunately, within a span of a few hours, by the time it was like 5, 6 in the evening, we heard gunshots. And while we are inside the airport, we heard gunshots, and then suddenly the entire uh, airport staff, including the security, they all left, and they left people just like that. So people were all scared and they started rushing inside the airplanes, and the airplanes was like filled with thousands of people. As a result of which, even the pilots ran away and the plane couldn't take off. So then we had no choice but to plan to come out of the airport, because we were hearing news that Taliban, they are close and they're going to walk inside the airport any minute. And for me, I couldn't stay there anymore, obviously, because I was thinking, if they come inside the airport, they're obviously going to check our identities and they're going to find out who I am. So this is like around 9 or 10 o'clock at night that they decided to come out of the airport again. So unfortunately, there's only one road that can take you outside the airport, and we had to walk through that road to get outside. And while we walking out, hundreds of more people are walking inside, and they're just terrified and scared, and they're just running with their small kids in their hands and stuff like that. So at the end of this road, this is where I actually was bumped into a few Taliban, and they were actually shooting. They were like shooting in the air because they were trying to like scatter people around. All these people who were trying to like get inside, they didn't want them to let them get inside, and they were just shooting around. And I just, we're just walking, and I see a bunch of them, and I look. I even saw a senior Talib who was standing in the middle with his hands behind him, and he was just really like scanning people, because amongst us on that airplane that we were supposed to take off, there was a few official, government people, a few very important people on that flight as well. And so this is why they were checking to see if they can find them, amongst the crowd. And then fortunately, I was covered in a hijab and I was covering my face as well, and you could only see my eyes. And luckily, they did not recognize me amongst the people. And then somehow we just got out of there. And then the next day, we attempted for the airport again.
As you said that you are the pop singer there and also a woman right activist, you have come a long way. You have done
Yes.
so well in your life. How do you see your future now? And what do you see the future of Afghan women now?
Well, for me, I feel grateful that I'm out of the country right now, but then my heart is going out for those millions of people who are left behind in Afghanistan, especially the women of Afghanistan. And what they went through the Taliban regime 20 years ago was just crucial. It was just unbelievable. And now we are back to the same point where we were 20 years ago, and it's unbelievable. I really am really worried, really concerned for all those women who are going to be stuck inside their houses once again, and they're not going to be given their basic rights, which is just as mere as like going out, on the road. They cannot even do that. They have to have a male, person with them, and they cannot go to school and study and stuff like that. So I feel really bad for them. The future, I cannot say anything right now, but this for sure, I know that if Afghanistan is really going to be left in the hands of Taliban, there is no future for Afghan women. There is no way, because what we have experienced with them, they don't have a good history with us, and we don't trust them anymore. Though I am getting to see a few clips from Taliban saying that they have changed, that they will let women go to school and go to work and stuff like that. I believe that they're only doing that to be recognized by the world. And once they're recognized, I believe that they will go back to their initial, identity and who they are. And I don't trust them at all. And I hope that what these words that they're saying right now, I hope that the world will hold them accountable for what they are saying. That they will let women do whatever. I hope that they will they will ask them for accountability in the future.
So what is your appeal to the world, to the Western world especially, and to the liberal society, democratic society? What should they do now for supporting
Well,
Afghanistan?
I'm really disappointed to begin with. I'm very disappointed that they left Afghanistan alone, just like that. And Taliban, took over the entire Afghanistan within a span of few days. It's unbelievable to me. I mean, look at all these superpower countries who went to Afghanistan. Initially, they went there and they said, "We're going there. Our reason for going there is for us to get rid of Al Qaeda and get rid of Taliban." And then, after being there for 20 years and spending millions and millions of dollars, and all those the lives of all those soldiers that were lost there, suddenly they decided to leave Afghanistan and come out. And this is something so shocking to me. And now, my hope is for the international community to not forget about Afghanistan and to not forget about the Afghan nation, because it's not their fault. They're living in misery right now, and millions of people in Afghanistan, including children and women, they don't deserve what they're going through right now. And I hope that they can sit down and they can find a solution to bring peace in Afghanistan. And one more thing that I am going to add in here is, I hope that they can put some pressure on Pakistan, because I personally believe that we are dealing with all these major issues in Afghanistan because of Pakistan. I mean, Taliban, by now, all of us, we know that Taliban are being funded by Pakistan. They're being, instructed by Pakistan. Their bases are in Pakistan. This is where they get trained. So I hope that the international community, first of all, if they cut their funds and they don't give funds to Pakistan, they won't be able to have enough money to fund Taliban further.
So do you blame Pakistan for, in a major way, for all this
I do.
situation?
I do absolutely. I blame Pakistan, because it's not, it's by now, over the years we've seen videos. We've seen evidence. We have evidence that Pakistan is behind, empowering Taliban. Absolutely. Every time our government, would catch a Talib, they would see the identification, and it would be a Pakistani person. So it's very obvious that it's them, and I do blame them, and I hope that they back off and they don't interfere in the politics in Afghanistan anymore.
What do you expect from India? Because India has been a long-term friend for Afghanistan, and
Absolutely.
lot of influence is there, especially the film industry, whether the modernity, whether the journalism. We have seen a lot of people are being trained in India. So how do you look at India's support in future?
You know what? On behalf of the entire nation of Afghanistan, I want to express my utmost gratitude to India, and I want to say thank you, because over the years we have realized that the only good friends amongst the neighborhood that we had, it was India. India has always been good to us. They've been a true friend. They've been very sweet and helpful and kind to our people who were refugees in India. Every Afghan that I've met in my life that were in India before, they've always spoken very good about Indian people and about how they were treated in India very kindly and very nicely. So we are grateful forever, and once again, thank you, India, for everything that you guys did for our country and we are doing.
I understand you have very less time. I'm just coming towards the end of my interview. Uh, as you said that you don't trust Taliban at all, whatever they are saying. But do you think in today's world it will be easy for them to repeat what they have done in last 20 years? Because definitely the world eyes are on them. What they do now will be seen by the world. And as an influencer and as a pop star, what will be your message to Taliban right now? What should they do now?
You know what? I just hope that they will think about humanity first. That they should think that they shouldn't treat innocent people like the way they did 20 years ago. I'm saying they might turn back to who they were before, because even then the eyes of the world were in Afghanistan, but nobody could do anything. Like they were just watching. And once again, I mean, I hope Afghanistan doesn't go to back to those dark ages and those dark days. And I believe, as I mentioned previously, maybe Taliban are just showing this face now to just be recognized. And once they're recognized, I don't know if they're going to turn back to who they were or not. I'm not sure, but I just hope that the international community would hold them accountable for what they're saying right now.
Aryana, will you be continuing with your music? Will you be continuing spreading the Afghan culture and talking about the women rights there? What will be your
Uh,
personal future?
Absolutely. I mean, I am going to obviously continue with my career. I've had a career outside Afghanistan as well, for many, many years. I have a big following everywhere, all over the world. I'll be doing that, and I will, probably dedicate a huge portion of my music, just like always, to Afghanistan and its people, because that's my, entire, what do you call it? Um, Focus. That's where my focus is. And then obviously, because I'm not inside Afghanistan, I'm outside, but I will try my best to be the voice of the voiceless and try to spread the word out there, and to see what we can do to get the help to focus on Afghanistan and its people.
My last question to you. Are you upset with your president, Mr. Ghani? He left the country in the middle. And also, do you see any resistance which is coming now? We are hearing reports that from Panjshir there is a resistance force which is coming in the face of Mr. Saleh. How do you look at these sequence?
I am truly, truly disappointed with the president, the way he left Afghanistan in the hands of a bunch of Pakistanis, and he just let down our people. He let down our country. He let down our armed forces, our military. I mean, how could they fight on without any leaders? If there's no leaders, there's no military. So it was very sad. I'm very upset. I'm actually pissed off with him for what he did. That was very coward of him. to do something like that. I remember even until the day we were leaving, and until the 15th of August, even in the afternoon, he was still giving speeches, and he was promising people that everything is going to be okay, and we're going to fight and stuff like that. And within the next few hours, he just disappeared and left people like that. But anyway, besides that, and whatever that's happening right now, I mean, from Panjshir, and then they're trying to, come and fight against Taliban. It's very brave of them and everything. I appreciate that. But at the same time, I am scared of Afghanistan going back to
The war.
Civil war, which is really scary. We've been through that, and I don't want Afghanistan to go through that once again. I'm scared for people. I'm worried for them. I'm really concerned, and I don't know what to expect, honestly.
All the best to you. You have a great future ahead, and hope peace prevails in Afghanistan. In the end, have you penned down anything in your music? Can you just recite few things for your country? Because people are hearing you, they want like to hear from you.
I would have loved to do that, but honestly, my heart is just bleeding right now. I don't have the emotions. I don't have the feelings to be able to sing. For that, I apologize. I'm so sorry.
No problem. I understand. Thank you so much for talking to us, and hope to talk again with you sometime when things are better. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much for having me.
नमस्कार, मैं हूं मानक गुप्ता। अगर आपको हमारा ये वीडियो पसंद आया हो तो इसे लाइक और शेयर जरूर करें, और हां, हमें सब्सक्राइब और फॉलो करना ना भूलें ताकि आप देश और दुनिया की कोई खबर मिस ना करें। तो जुड़े रहिए हमारे साथ और देखते रहिए News24।